Hello everyone, Valiant Versatile here, and today we're playing Splinter Cell's Blacklist, Pakistan Embassy. This will be a walkthrough guide for beginners. So make sure before you start any embassy, you have like a decent set of gears unlocked. I'll explain as I go along the way. What you see in the gameplay. Yeah, so we're gonna do the first available embassy that we get from Charlie, the Pakistan embassy, and just kind of like go through what I did for the Pakistan embassy waves and how you can get how to score the highest possible score, and how to best go through the waves. So starting off with wave 1, it's very simple. There's 5 hostiles. We're playing on the highest difficulty, perfectionist, so that means a few things. Now on perfectionist difficulty, the infrared goggles do not, or rather the sonar goggles, sorry, do not see enemies through wall, and you do not have execute, which is one of the most powerful abilities Sam has at his disposal. So the goggles ain't so useful. So think of like if you played story mode in Splinter Cell Blacklist, you should know there's a goggle jammer, the drone operator guy. Kind of think of like perfectionist, kind of that. Like the goggles ain't gonna be useful if you don't want to rely on it. What's immediately important is the minimap you see on the bottom left of the screen, and to score the highest possible score, you want to definitely do non-lethal takedowns throughout the whole embassy waves, and make sure you continue the waves. But for today's guide, we're just gonna be focusing on like how you can get through the waves. That's pretty much it. So when you're playing on perfectionist, you definitely want to do non-lethal takedowns as much as possible, hand-to-hand combat, as yeah, you only have a limited amount of supplies. Perfectionist cuts your munitions a bit, and also yeah, you don't get resupplies from the little briefcase things as you see right there on the table, but technically you can refill it. You just need to restart checkpoint and you can refill it basically. So yeah, if you're just playing to get through it, don't worry about it too much. Just go crazy and just always restart checkpoint when you begin a wave, so that your ammo is completely full. So you definitely want to familiarize yourself with the Pakistan embassy and make sure you know what the routes are. So basically for the entire Pakistan embassy strategy, we're gonna be just staying right here, as this is the best defensive position and place to hold up and hide. There's a lot of escape routes you could do at the Pakistan embassy. Out there, like across the street, it's like there's not much cover. It's very open, and you're gonna get spotted real easy. Even with the basic enemy with like a pistol can kill you in a couple of shots. Even if you're wearing like the full Kevlar suit, full max armor on perfectionist difficulty, you get taken out pretty fast. You can take an extra hit or two with the full combat armor, but that's about it. Now, if you're playing for score, I believe like if you do the math, there is like a definitive highest possible score, but I don't think anyone has actually done it. Correct me if I'm wrong. That takes a lot of time to actually pull off, and one mistake could set you set back a couple of scores. So basically you want to non-lethal attack everybody and save up your ammo for and plan the waves accordingly, as if you're gonna do all 20 waves in one shot, it's pretty difficult. Not gonna lie, if anyone has done it before, or you know, actually pulled it off on video, please let me know and link me the video. I'm interested to know if anyone done that before. So that will be the major differences in perfectionist and the other difficulties. So right now, making this walkthrough, I was just testing a couple of things on yeah, just testing a couple of different gears to see what's worked best. um, so let's talk about loadouts. So what I find is like the best gear is like the complete stealth suit, because like even on even if you have fully armor or some partial armor, you're gonna die in a couple of shots. So it's best not to be detected. If you get detected, quickly run away and escape. Yeah, you will die really quickly on this difficulty. Now, basically, for the embassy, it takes a really long time to do the embassy. As it might take a couple of tries to get through it, just to get through it. If you're gonna go for the highest possible score, it might not. It will take even longer. So yeah, generally it's worth it to just throw a sleeping gas grenade if you're gonna take out like a whole group of enemies. So I took out like 5 guys right there. Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do the wave without restarting as much as possible to also show like how you can get a maximum possible score. Yeah, but again, this walkthrough is just mainly just how to get through it. And yeah, so as you saw there, I kind of grabbed him further away in do the cover takedown further away than what you're supposed to actually be allowed to do. So what you actually want to do is when the enemy is quite close, you can extend the range a little bit and grab them and do the takedown animation by looking at them and spamming the takedown button. That's how I was able to grab him further than you're supposed to actually. Yeah. And if you didn't know, in Splinter Cell Blacklist, when your gear glows up, you see the purple lights on Sam. If it's glowing, that means they are hidden in the dark. Well, most of the time anyway. And you see when he's in broad daylight, the gear doesn't glow. That means you're easily spotted. Now, for this wave in particular, and any future waves with dogs, always take out the dog. Dogs are a major problem. If there's dogs nearby, the priority is to take out the dog before you go for anyone else. Yeah, you definitely want to take out the dog first. And because dogs can detect you, kind of just sniff you out. They're kind of like a walking radar. Basically, that's how the AI works. So the director AI will kind of tell like where the general vicinity of the player, and the dog will kind of like act as a radar to try to like search the area where the player is. So think of their AI like that. Yeah, it's kind of like a walking. They know like where you are at all times, like the general vicinity of like Sam. So do beware of their AI. So for my loadout, I went with the SC pistol customized, and as well as the SC sniper rifle, because I feel like that's the best gear, but any gear works. And of course we've got our trusty crossbow. So yeah, generally it's a good idea to like go for like um if you can take out multiple enemies with a single bolt, that's generally worth taking. Just use it. like 2 for 1, that's really worth. Even though, yeah, unless you're going for a high score run, then you want to plan it out a little bit more and know like which waves you're up against and stuff like that. Yeah, save it for it really matters, because if you're gonna do it in one go, it's, yeah, you need to do it in one go in order to get the highest possible score. So I got detected right there, which isn't good. So quickly run away and always check your mini map to be aware of your surroundings and kind of predict where the enemy will go based on the mini map, and it'll help you escape. Now, if you're in a very bad spot, you can always go to the dead drop location, the little flash drive. If you haven't done the Pakistan embassy, which is actually, you can climb up there and it's unaccessible to the enemies, and you're pretty much safe if you're in that area. They cannot, grenades don't reach you, I believe. Like, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe grenades is possible to damage you with a grenade, so just be careful about that. You want to kind of wait until the enemies stop searching for you, and before you go out again if you're in a bad spot. So yeah, because on the highest difficulty you really do die very very fast, so going head on is generally a very bad idea. But yeah, this is just my favorite loadout. You can go with whatever guns that you feel comfortable with. You could run like a SMG, assault rifle, or even a shotgun if you prefer. I just prefer like my sniper rifle as like my alternate weapon for long range, and my pistol for short range, and my crossbow kind of like in the middle ground. Yeah. So as you see, dogs are super annoying. Super annoying to deal with, so definitely take out the dogs first. Yeah, you constantly want to just keep an eye on the mini map and check and take your time and look around and make sure like you're not being surrounded, and make sure like you don't get like surprised, like you weren't aware like a guy was like coming around the corner and then you got spotted right after doing a takedown move. You definitely don't want to get caught out, so make sure you check the minimap and plan accordingly. Not to take down an enemy that's gonna come into a room that you're doing the takedown, or like within their sight lines. That's generally a bad idea. You're gonna get locked in the animation, and if there's a dog right next to you, you're basically dead. Because if the dog grab you, it's pretty much like you can survive it only if you're at full health. But if an enemy is right there shooting you and the dogs grab you, yeah, you're dead. You're basically dead. So this was the sweet spot I was talking about, like the safe spot. Like you can always retreat over there where the dead drop is. So yeah, what you want to do, aim at the guy and spam the takedown button, and you kind of grab him further away. Even for ledge takedowns and basically all the takedowns. Yeah, you can extend its range just by looking at the enemy. And because I'm not wearing the stealthiest suit, as soon as like I crouch, walk right behind them, they can last minute, like when I'm right behind them, they can detect me right as I approach them. So I use the if you see like the enemy turning around and wondering what's that noise, it's like my footstep noises, because I'm not wearing the most stealthiest gear. I have a bit of armor, which actually I tested, it doesn't really help. So yeah, learn from my mistake, just wear full stealth gear and you should be fine. Now if you're playing to get through the embassy, I would recommend after you do the HPT wave, just extract, and it will save your not really save your progress, but like have a checkpoint for like every 5 waves. You have kind of like a checkpoint so that you can quit out and do whatever you need to do, and then come back into the wave at like the 6th wave, like where you left off. So you can select it. If you didn't know, you can click on wave and kind of select where you left off once you extract. You can't start on a specific wave, which I wish you could. Like if you stopped at wave 17, for example, you could like go back to wave 17. That's where you left off. But no, it's every 5 waves. So I recommend, like, if you're just getting through it, do it segmented, or at least like do 10 waves and then halfway you stop and then you do another 10 waves. Whatever you prefer, you know. Yeah. So yeah, you can see right there, normally you wouldn't be able to grab that guy from that distance, but since I kind of aimed my crosshair towards him, I can grab him from further. So I'm gonna refer to that technique, kind of like I guess like the animation grab. Yeah, I'm gonna call it the animation grab from now on to make things easier. So yeah. So yeah, as you can see, if you have no retry this wave, you get a bonus of 500 on perfectionist. So to get the highest possible score, again, you need to chain all the waves and do it perfectly. So it's super difficult. I'm sure, yeah, if you did the math, if you count how many hostiles are there in a wave, plus the retry bonuses, plus the stay and fight bonuses, you can work out the highest possible score in the Pakistan, all the embassies really. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing wave 1 to 5 part 1, and if people seem to enjoy this beginner walkthrough for Splinter Cell Blacklist, I will be sure to do more. If not, I probably won't do any more because it's a lot of work to play well and also do video editing and to do commentary on it. So if nobody's watching it, I don't think I want to do like, yeah, record footage and all that stuff. So you can kind of saw that I was aiming at him, and for a second it gave me the prompt to do area knockout. And yeah, like I told you, the animation grab technique is super useful. For the early waves, I'm just gonna show like what you should be doing, as you can easily score really well, and you could save up a lot of your gear for the later waves. Yeah. So you don't need to count how many hostiles you take. Luckily, the game tells you hostiles remaining on the top left hand screen if you didn't already notice. So always be aware, and also always check what ammo type you're equipped. You don't want to be like, oh, what happened? I shot the wrong bolt. You thought you selected like sleeping gas bolts, and then you shot like a sticky shocker, and you didn't even take out a single guy, and you get spotted just because of that. So be sure to equip the correct bolts for the correct situation. So always check before you shoot. That's what I recommend, so that you don't get caught with your pants down. So yeah. So pretty much, I'm just gonna watch along with you guys and see what happens. If right now it's just me just clearing the wave. There's not much to talk about. Yeah. So definitely want to pay attention to what the enemy AI is saying. It could really help you like understand what's going on, and also you see that guard just reacting to an unconscious body. Like you must understand their AI really well. Yeah, so that you could do super well and predict what they're gonna do next, and then you could set up a trap or do a takedown, uh, do a well-timed takedown and stuff like that. So paying attention to what the enemy is saying and responses is super important for decision making in what you do in the embassy. Generally speaking, you basically want to stay in the Pakistan embassy. If you have to go out to like take out a guy, like let's say a drone operator or like a shield riot shield guy, then try to take them out from long range. If you cannot for whatever reason, then go ahead and go close quarters with them, and then immediately run back to the Pakistan embassy. Um, because if you're like there, get caught out there in the open, you're gonna die. So immediately run back here. For whatever reason you need to go out in the open, by all means go ahead, do so. So again, the animation grab technique, normally he's quite far away for a normal takedown, but because I looked at him and did the animation grab, I was able to do the takedown from further away. Now I'm doing it on perfectionist. Now for anyone who's watching, who's doing like on realistic or lower difficulties, if you have like the sonar goggles, you can look through walls along with the minimap. That is really powerful too. You could like see through walls, and it's super powerful. And you got footprint tracking too, so you know where the enemy's been and stuff like that. So you could plan accordingly how you want to execute the enemies, and as well you also on low difficulties for the embassy you get to resupply every wave. So what you can do is once you left one guy, you could just go ahead and resupply and then take out the last guy. You can do that for every wave. So he was about to spot me right there. There's a buddy right in there with him, so I dropped down instead. They can't look directly below them. Yeah, so understanding their detection sight line is also important. Again, understanding the AI is super important in order to do well in the embassy. So these regular enemies are pretty much vulnerable to pretty much anything Sam does. Yeah, there will be more difficult enemies coming up in the later waves. I will talk more about that when they come up. So I noticed if let's say you get spotted from the front and you go for like a takedown, like you rush up to them and then do a takedown, sometimes the enemy will knock you away, even the regular ones. But the higher tier enemies would more often than not push you out and kind of deny you your takedown. So what I found to be really effective strategy is you switch to lethal right away. Switch to lethal and shoot them in the leg or shoot them to kind of stun, and then you go for the knife kill on them. More often than not this will work. If not, quickly you gotta be super fast and quickly switch to your gas or sticky shocker to knock them out. Now this works for most enemies. If it's like the riot armored, like the armored soldiers, you're basically kind of screwed. Yeah, I recommend just immediately find cover and run away from them as fast as possible if you get spotted. It's not a good unless you're super fast with double tapping them, like shooting off their helmet and then pulling off a headshot. I wouldn't recommend like going close, like like do a front takedown or anything like that. That's crazy. So we come to the every every fifth wave, we'll have like HVT to capture, and there's a limited time to do so. So what you want to do is immediately take out all the enemy in the vicinity and try to capture the HVT immediately as soon as you can, and then you don't have to worry about the HVT at all. Once you capture the HVT, all you have to do is just slowly take your time and take out the enemy. So these waves are by far the hardest because there's a time limit objective you need to do. So definitely this is one of those waves where if you're playing for high score, I believe using your equipment is super important. One thing to note, this is not an optional objective, you must complete it. So you can use like a sticky shocker to knock him out, or use a gas grenade or anything to knock him out. You can't do any aerial knockout unfortunately, because you need to do the game will always force you to do like human shield on him in order to bag and tag him. So be aware of that. So you can't just drop on him. So be super aware. If for whatever reason, you think it's a good spot to knock it, so plan accordingly on where you knock out the HVT. You don't want to knock out the HVT at a spawn location or like where there's heavy enemy traffic. So definitely be careful of that. And again, if there's dogs for the HVT wave, take out the dogs first. Yeah, enemy priority is super important. So I didn't mention this earlier. So I actually died at the HVT wave. This wave right here, wave 5, and I had to redo again, unfortunately, because I didn't really make a mistake on my part. The enemy just kind of detected me, and I got killed within 3 seconds of me being spotted. So yeah, I got really unlucky. Sometimes with these HVT rounds is really the pattern and the spawns you get, really. So one annoying thing, when you restart last checkpoint, the whole area will be reset. So like all the bodies will be cleared, and all the doors and windows will be closed, and you have to reopen them again, which I find it super annoying, because you want to open the doors and windows so you have more entry and exit points, so you don't have to like when you so that you want to open them at the start of the wave so that you have more places to escape and get around enemies and stuff. So it kind of is annoying they had to reopen all the doors and windows when the whole area is reset when you restart last checkpoint. So just keep that in mind if you do die and restart. Sometimes, depending on how fast the enemy react, by the time you do your like shoot the sticky shocker to knock him out, it'll count as a combat knockout, which is super annoying. That's why I say if you're going for the highest possible score or high score run in general, that can be super annoying. Sometimes the enemy reacts much slower than that. Sometimes the enemy takes just respawn instantly. It just is pretty inconsistent. Yeah, what I want to say. If we extract or stay and fight, we get bonus points, but you get way more points if you stay and fight. So that's the end of the part 1 of the walkthrough, guys. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy this sort of thing, and I'll see you guys. Peace.